I first got into photography when I was 16. I grew up in La Jolla Shores, California. A friend of mine walked up to myself and a group of friends with an 8x10 black and white. He had like 6 of them that he'd processed in his home darkroom, and he starts showing them and passing them around to this group of friends of mine. And I just went, whoa! It was from like a week prior. I think it was David Nuuhiwa nose riding in Pacific Beach. So right from that point I went, that's what I want to do. It was natural to just start shooting what we were so addicted to, which was surfing. I didn't care about the money, I just cared about what day did I just photograph and did I capture whatever moment it was. Stance, just realizing how long I've been doing it in my archive. I have one of the larger archives of work from the 70s all the way up to into the 2000s. And if you go over to Stance, there's like a whole room full of creatives. You know, they're all in their kiosks. They came up with the creative idea of putting my work on stocks, which I was really flattered.
We worked on a project called Surf Legends, and so we were lucky enough to literally walk across the street to the Surfer Journal offices and meet with Jeff Devine, who in my opinion is one of the biggest legends of this whole project.
At the time, I was in the mid-'80s, and I was really into going out at Sunset Beach on my boogie board. I had an enlarged boogie board, and there was probably about 8 or 10 of us that would go out there consistently, but I went out there really a lot. Like I might even go out on a good day like 5 or 6 times a day. I remember this shot in particular, anything that happened on the inside bull, it was like the shot because it was front lit, it was barreling, and you knew that you were gonna get a good shot. And I remember Occhi coming around, kind of coming through a flat section, setting up for the inside bull, and I'm going, oh my God, what's he gonna do? And he stalled. And that's part of the stall that he's doing. And then he got barreled and then came out and then paddled away like it was nothing.
Just stalling, trying to get in the barrel. I can tell you I did get barreled after the shot, but I'm not in the barrel yet. You know, I just remember hanging with guys at Buddy's house, like Rab and Ronnie Burns and Mike Latronic, just all sitting on Buddy's porch, just laughing in between sets, just didn't know how good we had it, you know, or it was just like I said, some of the best days of my life.
I hate to sound stupid, they have a name for that. Is that a slaw bear? I'm not sure what Christian would call it, but at that point in time, this was like a really big deal, and he would just do them on every wave, just about. And then he was getting covers of magazines and through his dad, Herbie, he was doing those Wave Warrior movies, and I think that those movies and what Christian were doing affected all of us, kind of like the Evolution movie that showed Wayne Lynch a long time ago in the 60s, kind of rocked our world. Christian rocked the world in that era. This is Martin Potter circa 90s. At this point in time, he was in the Pipe Masters. I think he was going for the World Championship. You would have thought that he could never do this, but he was taking off on these bomb pipe waves. And all of us who watched everything going on, we couldn't believe, wow, Potter has transitioned into these bomb waves really easily, because prior to that, we knew him as an aerial guy at Huntington or in California or wherever.
That was kind of the year where I thought, I've got to step up. If I'm gonna do well or win pipe, I've got to charge, you know. And I thought that it's now or never. I mean, it was 1988, and I was sort of 23 years old, 24 years old. So it was in that period of my life where I just went, bugger it. You know, I've got to just push myself over the ledge. I've got to go to that next level if I want to be successful in Hawaii. You know, Sean Thompson always said that you're not a complete professional surfer until you completely rip in Hawaii, and I think that's true.
During this time in the 90s, he showed up like clockwork every day at Off the Wall. When the sun was out by, say, 9 a.m., he'd show up, set up his thing, and go out, and he'd stay out for about 3 hours. And this was a time when Derek Hine was claiming him as like the best surfer in the world. So we were like, really, Derek? Is that true, or is that your opinion? And then so we were on to Archie, and we were so stoked because it was also during an era when a lot of surfers were just on this party train. And so they weren't they weren't out there at 9 a.m. They were probably just going to bed or something. But so we were so stoked that Archie was the talent, and he was there every day like clockwork.
Yeah, I remember that day. It was really fun. It was about 4 or 5 foot off the wall in the afternoon. It was really fun. I remember that board too. I just love that board.
This is one of my favorite photos of Tom Curren because it shows his body language. A lot that goes on with surfing has to do with how people hold their hands and their body language, kind of their dance with the ocean. And Tom was kind of the master of that. You know, it was just amazing. What can you say?
His photos were just always smack bang, just on the money. And this shot here of Tom Carroll doing that snap, that infamous snap at Pipeline. I was on the beach that day, and the whole beach, you know, no one's ever cheered for a turn at Pipeline, and I don't think they ever have since. But the whole beach erupted when Tom done that turn under the lip.
There was maybe 3,000 people on the beach, and they all, when he did this maneuver, this one particular maneuver, everybody just went, whoa! Like they didn't cheer like, yay, they went, whoa!
I saw that one too. I was on the beach. It was epic. Plus what you don't see is like he's doing a turn there, but the wave is about to go like balloon out. So when he comes down the turn, the wave is gonna be like twice as big as it is, because he's doing a turn right when the wave is gonna sort of expand. So it's quite surprising, you know, what he was doing. And that board is amazing too. That's a Rawson. He had those boards that were so good, they looked amazing.
I love those sort of maxing out days at Pipeline back then, or when the waves were washing through. It sort of confused people. The board was just clicking underneath my feet. Anyone who surfs understands that when you click with that piece of equipment underneath your feet, that kind of magic carpet feel, you don't have to think about it, and you're just sort of responding to the wave. And during that day, it was just answering kind of all those little, you know, questions around me. What can I get? Can I go from that point? Can I take off at this one? Can I take that drop? Can I make that? And there was just really not that much thinking, to be honest. I was just doing it. Yeah, looking back on it in hindsight, that's where I was, kind of pretty much in the prime.
You know, there's a lot of times when I photograph, I have no idea. You know, I go, wow, that was cool. Next, is there a set coming? And then probably within a week, I realized that was one of the historical moments of that era.